Hi students, this video is for you to go back and look through today's lesson 3.2.3 and how can I rewrite some of these expressions. So use your time today to review this if you had any questions about today's lesson. So here was our do first, and remember we multiplied 47 times 53 using the area model. So we broke down 47 into 40 and 7, 53 into 50 and 3. So we're just going to multiply each of these pieces. So 40 times 50, sorry, that's a 4, is 2,000. 50 times 7 is 350. 40 times 3 is 120, and 7 times 3 is 21. So we're going to add each of these pieces together. Remember, it's always a good idea for you to pause, try this on your own, then rewatch it. So when we add 2,000 plus 350 plus 120 plus 21, we get 1 in the tens place, or 1 in the ones place, 2, 4, 9 in the tens place, 1 in 3, 4 in the hundreds, and 2 in the thousands. So go ahead and type that in, 2,491. All right, let's move on to the next one. And so here's the answer for you, and you can walk through it. Let's keep moving. So if you missed class today, remember, join us in our office hours either 3:30 to 4, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or this Friday. You can see our different hours for Ms. Miller and Mr. Winter. Reminder, we will be taking an assessment next Thursday, so all this work is only going to help you get ready for that. Alright, so today's goal was to use the area model to multiply a binomial by a monomial. So our lesson today will keep going. So remember when we look back at chapter 2, we learned to combine like terms. So to combine like terms, remember, we're going to move all the things that we can put together. So see, this 3y and this negative 12y go together. The 4x and the negative 6, or 4x squared and the negative 6x squared go together. With this 5y can go with those. So let's just put all of these pieces together. And again, you should pause and try this on your own and then see if you get the same thing. Oh, this is a constant, doesn't have a variable. So all the numbers that don't have variables can be combined. And you should end up with something like this. Notice all the y squareds, all the y's to the first power, the x squareds, the x's to the first power, and the constants. So here they are again. And so let's take a look at these and let's combine each of these numbers. So 34 minus 8 plus 2. Okay, how does that go? Well, I like to do the 34 and the 2 to get 36. 36 minus 8 gives us 28. 12x and 4x and x, that's 16 plus 1x is 17x. Try this one on your own. Pause it for a second and try it. So if I have negative 12 minus 5 plus 3, okay, remember that negative 12 and negative 15 combine to give us negative 17y. Okay, and then we add the 3y, and we move closer towards 0, right? So it's negative 17 plus 3 will give us that. Let me put my equal sign. Will give us negative 14y. Right? Negative 6 and negative 4, when we add those coefficients, we get negative 2x to the second power. Then finally 6y squared plus y squared. Remember, there's no coefficient here, so it's 1. So we'd have a total of 7y squared. Try those out and make sure you have the right answer. So this is where we had some notes on how to multiply a monomial times a binomial. So this 4x is a monomial, 1, right? Mono. this 3x plus 6 is a binomial 2. And so we're going to multiply each of these pieces on the inside times the piece on the outside. And we're going to use that area model. So you can see we took 4x times 3x right here, and 4x times 6. So 4x and 3x is 12. X and x is x squared. 4x times 6 is 24x. And so then we combine our two answers. They're both positive, so we'll combine them by adding 12x squared plus 24x. So your turn to do this. Go ahead and pause and then try this out. You paused it? You double checked? Okay, so we're going to do 3x times negative 8 and 3x times negative 10x. Sorry, that's positive. All right. And so 3x times negative 8 gives us a 21x, and it's negative. And 3x times positive 10 will give us 30x squared. So we have negative 21x plus 30x squared. Let's type that in there. Negative 21x plus 30x squared. All right, I'll fix that before today's lesson. All right, so here's your turn. Let's model this out. So I'm going to put the negative 2y here, the 8y here, and the 13 here. Notice no negative number. It's not subtraction, so I don't need to put that with the 13. So I get negative 2y times 8y, which gives me a negative 16y squared. Negative 2y times 13, which is a negative 26y. Put those together, negative 16y squared minus 26y. We're going to type that in there. Negative 16y to the second power minus 26y. All right. Okay, go ahead and pause and try this one out. Notice that the 3x is behind the parentheses. No big deal. All right, hopefully you paused and tried this. You get negative 5x here, negative 31 here because it's minus 31, 3x right here, and so we get negative 5x times 3x and negative 31 times 3x. Multiply those out and you get negative 15x squared, and 31 times 3x is negative 93x. When we put them together, we get negative 15x squared minus 93x. I'll type that in there just so you can read without my sloppy handwriting. Oop, and notice I missed this square, so you go over here, hit Shift 6, and put in that squared. All right. One more for you to try, so pause and try it out. I'm going to put the 4x right here, and the 3x here, and I have a 4x to the second power. Okay, so multiply 4x times 3x, and 4x times 4x squared. Here I have 12x squared. 4 times 4 is 16. X times x squared. So x and x squared gives me x to the third power. Combine those and I get 12x squared plus 16x to the third. And when I say combine, I mean put them together with addition. They're different exponents, right? X squared, x to the third, so they cannot be added to each other. So we write it 12x squared plus 16x to the third. Nice work. All right, now, since we've done a few of those, how can we undo it? Okay, and we'll do more of this tomorrow in tomorrow's lesson. But how can we undo this and think, how do I get from 3x to 12x squared? Well, 3 times what is 3? 3 times what is 12? I know that's going to be times 4. But is 4 times 3x 12x squared? No, we need another x there. Okay? And then 3x times what is 6x? Well, 3 times what is 6? That's a 2. 2 times 3x, is that 6x? Yeah. So inside of these parentheses, we'll have 4x plus 2. Hopefully you understand that. That makes sense. And then we will move on to this exit ticket where you are going to write your own problem and solve it. So go ahead and do that. If you finished this lesson and you weren't in class, email your teacher and let them know that you finished this and ask them to check your exit ticket to make sure you understand. If you have any questions, email us, all right? And come to our office hours.